when you look at the picture or the movie, in my case, like I have this movie of the perfect story for my son, perfect story for our life, perfect story for our kids, and it involves nothing but, you know, it's like when you blow out a candle on a birthday or something and you have a wish. I mean, you know, you're not supposed to tell people what your wish is. Guess what mine is? Health and happiness for my family every single time. And,
oh, really? Because that's mine too.
Oh my gosh, maybe we cancel each other out. That's how this happened. But I'm just saying, it's what you want for your kids, right? You have this picture, this movie that you see their life and the way it's supposed to go, and then all of a sudden, this happens, and you can't be prepared for it. There's no way. Yeah, but you deal with it, and hopefully, if you have somebody strong to lean on, you get through it. Lean on me.
I was 6 months pregnant with Sam when Jake became diagnosed. So
we had a baby on the way, and Ben was 3.5, and Jake's diagnosed, starts having seizures. So now we have, you know, 3 beautiful boys, and now we're worried, are the others going to start having seizures? You know, that 7-year mark, is that going to happen? Trust me, you know, we both thought about that, where it's like, because we talk to other parents and they have kids that have multiple kids that have seizures, and it's a tough thing because as a parent you want to give the same level of attention and love and everything to all 3 of your kids, but your special needs child, the child that is dealing with something, they inevitably just get more attention because you have to deal with that.
But I also think because they were babies and it's just what they knew, and I don't feel like it was part of their everyday life. I mean, Jake spent a lot of time in and out of the hospital those first maybe, I don't know, 3 years of Sam's life. We were still trying to balance and spend time with them. I mean, I talk about this, that, you know, I had a thing called special nights when I was a kid, and my parents would I had an older brother, younger sister, the 3 of us, and my parents would take my brother Brad out just alone, take me out just alone, Tiff out just alone. And so I kind of had that in the back of my mind, and you did that too, special time with your parents. So we tried to do that with our kids. Very important. Jake would say, that time at the hospital where I had these wires hooked up to my head, that wasn't special time. That was not a fun time. I want to do something fun, so you have to balance that. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, there's this woman that I love. We're a couple. And so we made sure that we had time for each other. It's a balance. You know what's surprising is that Jake has been a pillar of support for us through all of this in the way that he handles this. Don't you think? I agree. He's been positive. He doesn't freak out when something big happens, like a seizure or something. He's the first one back up. He's up stronger and taller than us. And we're like, wait a minute, if this is the way he's handling it, this is not such a big deal. If he's handling this so gracefully. We go from his lead. We go by how he's reacting. He's always been positive. So. But he also gets really bummed and really down, and we hold him up. But I think more times than not, looking back over our journey so far, the last 14 years, he has been stronger than I think both of us ever think we would ever been. First day of school, at a new school, Jake had a seizure, and before school even started, like before the bell rang that day, they were all playing on the yard, and I just left. It was our introduction to the school. He fell. Yeah, he cut his chin right here. And one of those football, you know, like football players get cut. He cut his chin right here. He hit his head on the ground. Now my phone is ringing, and I go right back, and by the time I get back, he's laying there, still on the ground, and they didn't know what to do because I hadn't educated them yet, or they didn't, you know, there's just a lot of misconceptions. People think they know what to do. Meanwhile, they're told, don't touch the kid. If he's on the ground, don't. That was, like you said, that was our kind of, you know, trial by fire. It sort of broke the ice. Yeah, we're here. Yeah. Get used to it. This is something that you might have to deal with. And so later that day, I'd already been scheduled to do an in-service with all the teachers. Well, now that a kid had this, you know, maybe there were 10 teachers that were going to show up. Every teacher showed up. And Jake, being Jake, was like, I want to go with you. This is after going to the ER, getting, you know, stitches and being beat up. He's bruised on his face. And now we go back and talk to the teachers and go, okay, here's what you can do better next time. I think just like through the early years of him being in school, it was just educating teachers, educating his friends. Yeah. If he goes to a friend's house, and this happens, here's what you do if he sleeps over. And in-laws and people that are going to be around him, coaches, stressful situations, anywhere. The more you talk about it, the more relaxed people are because they know what to do. You know, don't be afraid to talk about it. Just think of it like this: if your child is highly allergic to peanut butter, you got to tell people.
they've got to have a pen ready. You know, certain schools will not apply that pen. They won't give an EpiPen. There's medications, emergency medications you can have for a kid having a seizure, but it doesn't matter because it's just at school. They're not allowed to apply it or whatever. Just let them know what to do, the basics of turning them on their side, put something under their head so they're not banging their head against the ground. You know, those things they can do if they know what to do. It's just like being allergic to peanut butter or something like that.
Same thing.
Yeah, because it's so relatable. That's what everybody understands. Like, oh, you get on a plane now and it's like, well, we can't serve peanuts because it's like, well, okay, we all know about that now. We should all know about epilepsy. We should all know about seizures. It's not a scary thing if you know what to do.